All right, welcome back. In the last video, what we did was we created a funnel or a page in the funnel that would serve as our template for all our other pages, right? So we had the three logos here, the headings, the buttons, and the links, okay? And this is literally all we need design-wise to create all our pages. And you may be wondering, are our pages going to look like this for every single page? No, they're not. Because remember, in our on-ramp content developer, we actually had our pages already written out, okay? So this Rustic House, Oyster Bar, and Grill Los Altos is going to be one of the logos. For heading 1, it's going to be buy one lobster will get one free. Heading 2 is going to be during our owner's birthday celebration event. Heading 3 or paragraph is going to be fill out the form below to claim your offer. We're going to have a form here and we're going to have a button down here. So I'll show you exactly how we make a copy of this template we just made and turn it into something like this. Now, one of the last things we're going to do in this video is we're going to adjust along the way, right? Because templates are templates, meaning they're not going to create a perfect output. Template means that they're going to get you 80% of the way there, just like something like ChatGPT writing a blog post for you, you telling an employee to do something. They're going to do most of the work for you, and then you're going to have to perfect it using your own creativity for the last 20%. So one thing you also need for this lesson, besides the on-ramp content developer, is your target audience tab within your Guest Growth CRM and reporting sheet. So remember here in this tab, I showed you how to prioritize the audiences that you created by selecting the no or lowest cost audiences first, making sure you extract as many free customers and profiles as possible, going to lower cost and higher cost. And after going through this, I showed you what kind of information we need from each of these people to make sure that our whole system works, right? Because we are going to need some data from these customers that are giving us their information, and we need to know exactly what information we need from them in order to execute this perfectly. For example, we need their first name. We want to address them by first name. If we want to send them emails, we need their email address. If we want to send them text messages, we need their cell phone number. If we want to send them something at the right time, we need to make sure that we get some kind of relevant date. So for example, if it's a birthday offer, we need their birthday. If this is just an anytime offer and it expires within 14 days, we need to make sure when that 14 days is. We need to make sure that if they used this offer already, they're not getting emails that remind them to use the offer. And we're going to use Offer Stage for that. You'll see all of this come together in the future videos, but this is basically what we need to make this page work. Okay, it's not just the design and the copy on there. The design and the copy on there is there to support someone deciding on putting this information in. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do before we create a page is we're going to create the form. Okay, so in your Guest Growth CRM, go to Sites, and on the top area, hover over Forms, and then click on Builder over here. You can see that I already created a form here that says Boger Lobster Roll Form. So I'm going to click on this to show you an example of what it's supposed to look like. And this is basically what it's going to look like, okay? First name, last name, email, phone number, date of birth. We don't need this, but remember I was telling you in one of the last lessons that you can add in 1 or 2 additional fields or pieces of data, especially if you know you're going to use it in the future. And if it's a very small ask, to get the information now so that you can use that information for another offer that they won't have to sign up for in the future, basically creating less friction by getting all the answers right now, then it's a good idea to have this in here, okay? Terms and conditions, super important nowadays. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice, but having this terms and conditions in here and making sure they agree to receive emails and texts from me is very important. Then this button down here, okay? So I'm going to show you how to create this form. Then I'm going to show you how to put this form on the page, on the template page. Then I'm going to show you how to write all the copy on the page so that it's going to look exactly like this, but with the design that we currently have. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a brand new form. How I'm going to do that is on the top right, I'm going to click on Add Form, start from scratch. The very first thing I want to do is name this form. Okay, so for Form 4, click on this pencil. I'm going to name this BOGO Entree Form. Okay, then click on Save. I just noticed this, but this Save button has a yellow dot instead of a blue dot. So for example, if I add a first name over here, it's going to have a yellow dot. So anytime you see this yellow dot, make sure to click on this Save button. Okay, I'm going to undo that adding field thing real quick. I'm going to make this wider because I think there's something I can't see. Here's this X button. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to add all the fields that I know I need. Okay. So again, what I know I need, going back to the Guest Grow CRM and reporting dashboard under the target audiences tab, I need first name, last name, email address, phone number, and we'll start there for now. So on the left side, click on this plus button just below the back button. You're going to see all these fields already created for you because that's what Guest Grow CRM does for you already. If you're using your own CRM like HubSpot, Zoho, Salesforce, anything like that, make sure you have separate fields for both. Make sure you have separate fields for first name and last name. And you're not using full name, because if you use something like full name, then in your emails, when it tries to pull a name, it's going to say, hey, Wilson Moo. And that doesn't sound as friendly as just, hey, Wilson, right? So that's why I always like to separate first name and last name, making it a friendlier email, exactly as if you know them as a customer, which you should. So we're going to drag in first name over here. Then we're going to drag in last name. All you do is hold and click these fields, okay? We're going to drag in date of birth is also over here. And we're going to put it at the very bottom, okay? So when you drag things, you can actually place it in between or above. I'm going to put it to the very bottom. What else do we need? We need email address and phone number, okay? So I'm going to click this status for first name as check mark so that we know we did it already. Last name done too. Birthday done as well. Okay, now email address and phone number. So I am going to add email right here and phone number right here. Now take note that when I added phone number, it automatically added this agree to terms and conditions. So you should see that as well. You may get some kind of notification, a warning sign that says adding your phone number needs you to put these terms and conditions. Is it okay to put it in? If it prompts that, then go ahead and click on yes. Okay. Now I'm going to click X on this sidebar. Okay. And make sure these are all the fields I need. And I'm going to reorder these fields in the right order. Meaning I'm going to put first name first. Then I'm going to put last name. Then email, then phone, then date of birth, then this check mark. Okay. So back to the CRM reporting dashboard. First name, last name, email, phone, birthday. Done. These are all in the form over here. Okay. The last thing from the form is relevant date, which this is not going to be a birthday offer. It's going to be from ourselves because we are going to put an expiration on this BOGO entree. It's going to be 14 days from when they first opened the voucher. And I'll show you how to do that in a future lesson. Any other pieces of data that we need, we already used birthday here. And honestly, you don't want to put too many questions or fields in this form because the more fields you put, the more friction you're going to create. And you just want someone to fill in the form with the most basic information so that you have people actually opting in and you're increasing your conversion rate of your traffic. So after this is all done, we're going to click on this save button. Okay. We're going to leave this here for now because I want to show you a couple things that are going to happen once we put this form on the page. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click on sites and then go to funnels. I know there's a way to add a new tab here. So what I'm going to do, you can see here, I already created the BOGO entree funnel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch. So I'm going to click on new funnel from blank, funnel name, BOGO entree funnel. And I'm going to put test at the very end. You don't need to put test, but I'm putting it because I already have my BOGO entree funnel there. So I'm going to put BOGO entree funnel test. You just put your offer name and funnel. I'm going to click on create. Okay, it's going to say funnel created. I'm going to go into the funnel that I just created. I'm going to add a new step. The name for the page, I'm going to name it sign up. And the path, I'm going to name it sign up. For the import, I'm going to leave that blank. I'm going to create this new funnel step. And then instead of create from blank this time, which is what we did for the template, we're going to use an existing using our template so that we don't have to do it all over again. Okay, so we're going to click on use existing. When it says choose funnel, we're going to choose default funnel because that was the name of the templated funnel that we used before. And then choose the funnel step, we're going to use the opt-in. Then we're going to click on import. Super easy, right? So now that we have this, we're going to click on this edit dropdown and we're going to edit in a new tab over here. Okay. So now instead of starting from blank, we're starting from our pre-designed page. Okay. So what we can do here is we can go to our OnRamp content developer, look at this sign up page and start eliminating or changing things on this page, having this head start already from the template, but just adjusting so that it looks like this sign up page. So for logo, what I like to do, I don't want to use the white because it's too close to the headings. So I'm going to delete the white logo. I don't want to use the black because it's camouflage from the background. So I'm going to delete that one. Okay. I'm going to leave this tan one because it's a little muted, as you can see. So I like that because I want heading 1 to stand out. Remember, we have a hierarchy going on here. Going back to what I taught you in the Canva design template lesson, we have a hierarchy and we want the heading 1 to be the most prominent thing on the page. So for heading 1, we're going to type in buy one lobster roll, get one free. Okay. The very first thing I notice here is that it's not all on one line and it skips to a second line because of the width of the page. And we want to be in control of this. And usually what we want to do to make sure we have control of this is start a new line when we think there should be a separation or a pause in the phrase or in the headline. So usually it's buy one lobster roll, pause, get one free. And if we're trying to do this, we're going to go in front of the G and get and press Shift Enter, and that's going to create a new line right there. So now on every single page, no matter how wide your page is, it's going to show buy one lobster roll, line break is what they call it in design, or next line, get one free. It's going to show like this on every single one. If you don't do this, then it's going to show free on the second line sometimes, one free on the second line sometimes, and then maybe even 3 lines of buy one lobster roll, get one free, which is going to look really weird too. Okay, so we just want the line break in front of the get. For heading 2, we're going to do during our owner's birthday celebration event. So I'm going to put during our owner's birthday celebration event. Okay. And then fill out the form below to claim your offer. Fill out the form below to claim your offer. And then again, like I said, we need to choose which ones are going to be H2, H3 verse paragraph because we want the most amount of variance between this information. You can see here already that the heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3, they're all bold, all white font, and they're blending together a little bit, right? So I'm going to show you how to adjust this to make sure that buy one lobster will get one free is the most prominent on the page. And then there's going to be a clear separation between that information and the second heading, which is during our owner celebration event. Before we do that, I want to go ahead and insert the form under paragraph so you know what the form might look like on this page. And make sure it looks good on this page. So we're going to go ahead and click on this plus button below paragraph. On this search, we're going to type in form, and we're going to add a form. Okay. Then it's going to say form picker. It's going to say select your form. I'm going to choose the BOGO Entree form right here. It says bad gateway. I don't know why. Let's go ahead and click on save. Let's go ahead and refresh this just to make sure that there are no other errors going on. Okay, now refresh and it's ready to go. Okay, so this looks really weird, right? Because now you see a white background behind here and it's taking up, it just doesn't look good. Like I'd rather this be a transparent background. This button we need to change to one of the orange buttons. Okay, I wanted to show you this first before we adjust the form. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly what we can do to the form to make it look really, really good on this page. Then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust all this text. Maybe put some spacing in between this text, maybe italicize some of this or play with the size of this text so that we have a clear hierarchy. We're going to go back to the form. So we're going to leave this tab open. We're going to go to this other tab over here. Under sites, we're going to hover over forms, click on builder. Then we're going to click on BOGO Entree form. I'm going to show you a couple of adjustments we can make so that this looks really good on this page over here. Okay. So first thing we can do is on the right side, just below save, this is hidden, but you're going to see styles and options. And most of this is going to be tick marked already. You do want an inline form. I'll show you what the difference is between inline and not. When you don't do inline, everything is its own line and it takes up a lot of space. Okay. You don't want each one in their own line. They don't need that much space for each field. So you do want to do inline so that, you know, they have 50% fields for each line and you have a condensed area that people can focus on. Next one, show label. I personally don't like the label shown because you're basically saying first name twice and people don't need to see first name twice. And by showing label and not showing label, we're going to either show this bold first name and bold last name up top or not show it. And my preference is to not show it. So if I take this away, It's a much cleaner looking form. Next one is full screen mode, and I don't want full screen mode. Okay, because we don't want the form blow. It's basically saying the form's going to blow up, and we don't want the form to blow up. Okay. Next one, form style background. Okay, we're going to play with this last, but I'm going to tell you right now that this is going to be a transparent background. Okay. Maybe we'll just do it right now because I want to show you what that's going to look like. So click on this background, and then don't choose a color, but down below it, here's a little transparency picker right here. Go to the very left on this transparency picker, then click off of it, and you'll see now the form is transparent. I want to show you what this looks like. So in order to show you what this looks like, on the top right, click on this save button. Then go back to your page where you had the form on the page, then click on refresh here. This already looks so much better, right? We have a transparent background, so the picture is still showing, okay? We have a form. We have this white border, which I'm not a fan of, and I would not use this white border. We need these terms and conditions to be white. These fields maybe could be bigger, and this button needs to be orange. So we're going to make all these adjustments, okay? Let's go back to the form. On this border, we're going to do 0 border, okay? So now there's no more border around. Border type, we're going to do none, okay? And then we're going to keep scrolling down. What we want to do here, the padding. Okay, 30 padding on top is a lot of padding. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that padding. Because you see here, there's a lot of space in between the text and the form. We're going to get rid of all that. Okay. Scroll down, shadow, gray, sure, why not? You can't really even see the shadow here, so that's totally fine. Field style. Okay, background, we do want to be white. Font color, we also do want to be white. The border, I think we want the border to be black. Or white. And let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so let's go to border. Let's choose white. Click on save. Okay, refresh this. And now we shouldn't have the outside border, but we should have a white border around each field. Because the focus are on the fields, not the actual total form. This looks better. This looks better already. So let's go ahead and go to the other tab. Keep scrolling down. Border type solid. Padding, that's fine. Shadow, that's fine. Label color, black. We don't have a label showing, so we don't need that. Short label, also don't have that. Placeholder, this is what I want to change here, because what I'm noticing here is this gray text inside the fields. It's a little bit hard to see. It's really light, right? So I want to change this to black so that it shows better. I'm going to click on save right here. On this next tab, I'm going to refresh. That looks way better to me. This is like, it's clear as day to me now that I need to put my first name, last name, email, phone, date of birth. Okay. Before I forget, you see how email has a star here or asterisk, and phone does as well, but first name, last name, date of birth don't. It's because email and phone are required and everything else is not set to required yet. So we're going to fix that right now as well. Go back to our form, click on this first name field, click on the required checkbox right here. Same for last name, same for date of birth. Cool. Now we're going to go to this terms and conditions, and then for the text, we're going to put white so it stands out. And then for the link, we're going to use that orange color from Canva. We'll change that a little bit later because I don't have access to that color right now. Or I can just go ahead and grab it, actually. I don't know why it doesn't show that preset color that we have here, but that's fine. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and find that orange color, which is right here, C94F00, Control C for copy. Here, link, put that here, put a hashtag in front, press enter. There you go. Now click on save. Then we're going to go here, refresh. That looks way better for sure. Last thing we need, okay? The most prominent thing on this page besides H1 is the submit button, okay? So let's go back to our form. On this plus button on the add form element, we're gonna go ahead and add a button right here. We're gonna add that to the very bottom. And for this button, we're gonna write in our text, which on our on-ramp copywriting is, yes, I want buy one lobster roll, get one free. we do need to adjust that, right? Because remember, that is templated copywriting. So instead of button, we're going to put, yes, I want my BOGO lobster roll offer. Okay. We're going to align this to the middle. We're going to bold this text. We are also going to change the background color to that orange again. I had it already on my copy. Okay. So get that. And then I do want to change the size of this to be bigger because remember our button sizing, which I don't know why it doesn't apply to the forms, but our button sizing was 18 pixels on the text. So I want this to be 18 pixels. Shadow text, color, white. Font family, remember Open Sans. Size, 18. Okay. And we want this to be 700 weight. Remember that? Okay, now we click on save. Once this form is done, let's go back to our page, refresh this page. And now we have a really good looking form on the page. This looks really, really good. Okay. Now we want to adjust the rest of the page, the text, the background as well. I can see the background is cut off down here. Okay. I want to fix that first. Let's go to settings, go to background. Instead of fill 100% width, let's do full center. Okay. So that now it fills up the whole page, as you can see here. And then I can see that the picture is a little distracting actually from the page. So instead of the half fade, we're going to change it to heavy fade like I said before. That looks way better right there. Okay, click on save. Now we need to make sure that the most prominent things on the page are the button and the headline. Okay, I can see here that all this text is actually blending in a lot. So what I want to do is things that usually take away from the headline or take away prominence from the headline is other things being too similar to it, right? And the way you can make things dissimilar to the headline is do things to other text that don't have the same properties. So since these are bold, I'm going to unbold these. I press Control B for unbold, and that's already a little bit better. Same for this, fill out the form below to claim your offer. Okay, that's already better. Another thing you can do, okay, that counteracts the bold is italicize. So I'm going to press Control I for italicize on that. That looks better. Same for this down here. Okay. Now what I'm seeing though is that these two are too similar to each other. So what if I bold and italicize this one? That looks a bit better. What if I make it smaller too? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make this smaller. I'm going to make it 24. Because remember in our brand guidelines, this heading 2 was 24 to 32. And I can see why Rustic House gave that variance in their heading 2 because sometimes it didn't work on every single page. Okay. So I'm going to put 24 here and 24 here. That's better. I'm going to leave it as not bold, actually. That's also better. And you know what? These two, H2 and H2, are way too similar. So I'm going to use the paragraph to type out, fill out the form below to claim your offer. Okay. Then I'm gonna move this to the very top. Okay. So that it can be out of the picture. And now this looks a little better, right? The focus and prominence is on buy one lobster or get one free. Second to that, hierarchy-wise, is during our owner's birthday celebration event. Third to that is fill out the form below to claim your offer. And then we have this button down here with the form. All right, this is pretty good. Let's click on save. A couple more adjustments I think we can make is I think we need some spacing in between this text. That's also why it looks pretty jumbled up. So what we're going to do to this buy one lobster roll, get one free, we're going to click on this text over here. And then we're going to scroll down on the left side settings area. And we're going to use margin bottom. We're going to add 10 down there. Same for the during our owner's birthday celebration event. We're also going to change the margin bottom to 10. And that's already way better. Okay. Let's click on save. Let's click on preview. It's going to open a new tab. Okay. And let's get rid of all the things that we don't need anymore. So we're going to get rid of fill out the form below to claim your offer and all these buttons and links. So I'm going to get rid of this. Click on this trash can. Click on the buttons, get rid of all these buttons. Okay, and it's totally okay because they're still in our template, so we can re-grab them later. Click on save here. Okay, click on preview again. It's going to open another tab. And now this is our landing page. So people are going to come here to sign up for buy one lobster or get one free. It looks really good. Okay, there is hierarchy here. There is separation of information. and there is a prominent button color, I would actually even make this color a brighter orange, even though it doesn't follow the brand guidelines. I think the orange is blending into the background orange of the lobster roll and the beer. So one thing I would do, honestly, is get this and change this color to a little bit of a brighter orange, like to the left over here. Or actually, that's not really brighter, but move the color spectrum more towards orange. Just make it a little more fluorescent or something like that is what I would do. You can play around with it, but that's something that I would do. Okay. Other than that, that's it for this video. Is you basically went from template to a real landing page where someone can fill in their information. Okay. What we're going to do after this video is we're going to test this page and see where all this information goes. This is the beauty of the CRM, is that you can create the page, create the form, all in the CRM, and then all the information in the CRM is going to go to your contacts over here. Okay, you see all these contacts over here? This information is going to go into your contacts, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure all the contacts are differentiated so that your BOGO entree rolls, your BOGO entree offers are going to go to a BOGO entree audience. And then your other offers are going to go to offer 2 audience, offer 3 audience. You're going to segment them. Make sure each one is in the right place. And we're also going to measure the difference in opportunities between them, meaning who signed up, who claimed, who validated, who gave feedback. These are all in the next coming lessons. We're basically building out the whole system because we're done with planning and we just finished our first page. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video.